Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with the video. Usually would have used throwaway, but posting this on my main would get me my clap back. So here we go. Long post ahead, buckle your seatbelts. So, as the title says, my then boyfriend literally broke up with me while I was dealing with gynecological problems in my body. I suffer from endometriosis. So, in simple terms, what happens in this is a tissue which should be inside the uterus grows outside. It started in me when I was in my teen years, but didn't know anything about it until later years. I used to get really painful periods and everything would become a living hell to do for me during my periods. When I and my ex wanted to start trying for a baby, the sex would be extra painful, and that would sort of turn him off, which made me feel miserable about myself and my body, and I would always feel like a burden to him. And when we tried and got no results, we went to the doctor who told me I would have difficulty conceiving and I should just give up on dreaming about having kids for a while and focus on my healing first. That's what the doctor exactly and accurately said, but my ex, being the dumb person he is, translated the whole thing saying she is infertile. He never thought of any solution, nor did he care about my well-being, and in the thick of healing, he left me in the end. I don't care what his reason was and how badly he wanted to have children and live his own childhood through it. If he had loved me, he would have found some other way or would have been patient with me. And honestly, when we broke up, we had sex. Even after that, he made me have with him under the pretense of how he wants me back, misses me, and how good and safe I make him feel. This manipulation is something I regret, missing out and not taking a stand for me. No excuses, but think of it this way. My health is worsening and I was desperate for someone to support me, so I gave in and let him take advantage of me, and then I ended up getting pregnant. But after that one time, he ghosted me and I felt disgusted with myself for being that way and never contacted him either. Soon, while being pregnant, my friend took care of me and treated my son as his own. And now, years later, my condition has improved in every way. I'm married, mentally stable, and have a good job and am the mother of 3 children, literally living the American dream. Up until I bumped into my miserable excuse of a human being named X there. Oh boy. Now, this is where I would all out. And especially for all the snakes who made fun of me back then, this is what happened. I was at the hall with my 3 children and my husband. We went for a movie, the Spider-Man movie everyone's talking about. So yeah, we went there, and after the movie, we decided to grab some candies and junk food. After getting off from the escalator, my younger daughter bumped into a guy, and guess what, like every other rom-com, that happened to be my ex. But as this is real life, we had a very different outcome. He said to me, hi, and asked if this was my child. And I said, sorry for my daughter bumping into him, and said, yeah, she is. And just to brag, honestly, I showed him the rest of the 2 kids too. Now, he doesn't know that he fathers my oldest son, and I necessarily didn't tell him. I didn't want the drama, and him being away from me is the greatest blessing I have ever earned in my life. So yeah, didn't bother telling him. Because if he didn't stay with me at my lowest, he doesn't deserve me at my best either. After my husband walked in, I was nervous and I knew he could have sensed it. He came to my rescue, and instead of just getting over the whole thing after having a small talk, my ex kept on dragging the whole conversation until he really confirmed the fact that I was indeed the biological mother of these 3 kids. And then he walked over to me and asked about my health. I was fuming and wanted to slap him, but that would be animal abuse. I kept quiet and told him with my husband's love and support, I worked on my health and got better in no time. I could see him going pale, and then after an awkward bye, he stares at my oldest son, who I have with my ex. He said he has the same eyes as him, and me, being me, acted nervous and gave out. I didn't think of anything and ran from that place, and my husband followed. He tried following us, but we just missed him by a short distance. Thank Lord we did. And after 2 days of this incident, I got a call from my friend who I had not a lot of contact with. It made me happy that we talked again, and with the flow of the conversation, I told her everything. At that moment, I didn't know she was going to snitch on me and tell my ex everything. The next morning, my ex shows up in my front door and demands to have my older son back. And now skip to today. He is taking me to court and suing me and asking me for rights over his son. He wants my child to have his grandfather's name and change his surname to his and have him over for all the days of the week. This is the same guy who left me when I was having trouble conceiving, and he left me for some other chick, and now he is here demanding for his fatherly rights. Like, dude, he can't be serious for real. On what basis is the court going to give you rights over a child who you didn't know existed until 3 days ago? Like, he just popped out of nowhere and thinking he can take my child from me? Like, the audacity. And don't give me that he might have changed. No, he hasn't, and he never will. And handing my child over just means exploiting him for his own profit and ruining his life. My husband is the only person he will ever consider as father, and he has no place in my life, and the peace I have in my life is something I have earned hard to earn, so no way I am trading that for anything. I'm really scared about these legal proceedings and everything because it's a field I have never played before, and I am kind of scared of my ex. What if he succeeds and steals my son? And what if I also lose my husband and have to deal with the whole heartbreak thing again? And I am a person who is strictly told to not be in stressful conditions, so that everything that is happening is doing nothing but making me more and more miserable. And about that friend, she's going to get it from me. My mutuals have all blacklisted her. And then again, I later found out that she is dating my ex. I am so freaking stupid. And to do this kid of stupidity is just beyond help and hope. I want to break her face so badly and teach her a lesson about how not to snitch and act like a snake with someone you called friend. And they trusted you with deep details of their life. But then again, I will face them in court. She doesn't really want my ex to have my son's custody. I can tell that from the way she spoke and everything, but that girl needs to chill and sit back without snitching on me. And after this is the lesson of not trusting anyone has been learnt by me, and never will I trust anyone because they call me their friend. I'm sorry, I ranted more than telling the actual story, but you know this is really a safe place, as everyone considers it to be, and the frustration is real. And as this post was being used as a clapback, I wanted to tell every bit of my story and not leave any single detail. So yeah, that's all for now. And to all the people who think that I am the bad guy here, you have both middle fingers up for you. I would now go talk to my husband and lawyer and get my son back to me without having the fear of losing, and enjoy some pink over a glass of wine. So my ex really kept his word for once and sent us a legal notice about my son's custody, but first he wants to confirm it with a test to check if it's really his son or not. Like, dude, get your priorities set first and then talk to us. Like, he isn't sure if it is his son or not, but keeps on butting into our perfect life and annoying us with stupid legal notice. And we have found the best lawyer, and she has assured me that our side of the case is strong. And after proving that he is a bad person who isn't safe to be around, we can win the case. And also get a restraining order against him so he won't bother us. And from what I have heard from the streets, he and his girlfriend are having fights over this topic. So maybe to save their relationship, he may withdraw his claim and get over it. That's all for now. And then something more happens. I will update here more and tell you people. I don't know. I really feel excited to talk to people over here and have fun together. The test result came today, and yeah, he is indeed the father, and it didn't make a difference because I was sure that he was. But it was him with issues who said shit like I made this up and all. So yeah, completely on him, and now we're going to court. I'll update next when the court thing is completely solved. And I trust in God and my lawyer, and no matter what happens, I am his mother, and I raised him even in my difficult times. It changes nothing, and I'll do anything to win. Oh, Jesus, we won, and seeing him look defeated was the best thing ever, and I enjoyed it all the way through. I can't reveal much about it, so for now, just know that it was a very clever and easy victory for us, and he has some rights, though, and he has to pay child support. He can visit him on Sundays for 4 hours, and knowing he lives in a different city, he won't. His girlfriend dumped him, which she should have, and everything is happy again. My son is not interested in that guy, and once when he met him, he came back crying. You know, they say the kids know the best. They do it, honestly. This guy is a disaster, and having the same eyes as him doesn't prove anything. Play smart and save your child. Get a lawyer and remove him. He doesn't deserve to be called a father when he didn't respect the mother of that child. I'm a recent high school graduate who already moved into an apartment with friends. I'm starting community college in the fall, and I wanted to get from under my parents' roof. So the day after graduation, I packed up my stuff and I moved. I have a younger brother who's 14. He's starting high school in August. My parents have always encouraged my younger brother to be my shadow. I had to take him to friends' houses with me growing up. They made me bring him to movies all the time, and sometimes I couldn't go to birthday parties if he wasn't welcome. Two of my friends had siblings around his age, so anytime they invited me to their parties, it was made clear my brother wasn't on the list. My parents said no. He always wanted to be around me. I resented it. I still kind of do. I know some people would love it, but I had no room to breathe. I had no room to hang out with friends. I didn't even want to hang out with him. He was younger, into different stuff, some of it stuff I had way overgrown, and it annoyed the crap out of me to have him with me so much. My parents always said part of being family and being the older sibling is spending time and learning to put other people's wants first. I asked them who was doing that with me, and they told me they did. I asked for examples of when. Everything they listed was when I was a baby. Ever since I moved out, which is only like a week, my brother has been dying to come and stay with me. He keeps asking if he can visit, when he can sleep over for a weekend, etc. I said to him he wouldn't be staying with me. He asked why not, and I told him because I was saying no. He told me he misses me and doesn't want us to not see each other all summer. I told him I needed space. My parents told me I shouldn't tell him he can't stay at my place, that it's going to make him feel unwanted. I told them they need to talk about it with him, then because I'm not going to cater to him the way I had when I was living with them, that I want my independence and time away from him. He asked me if he could stay with me over the 4th of July weekend. I said he couldn't stay with me. Now my parents are extremely pissed. They said I am being cruel. I think space and boundaries at night are helpful. Maybe then I can get to a point where I want to see him and spend time with him, where I actually care about our relationship again. AITA though? NTA. The way your parents treated you actually led to this situation. I have a younger sister, and when we were teenagers, I would sometimes take her to hang out with me and my friends. I just did it because I wanted her to have a good time. I guess this would have been a totally different story, and we would have a much worse relationship today had my parents forced me to take her. Also, I think they are preventing your brother from finding his own group of friends. It's so different when it's done willingly and enough time is still made for friends. I was lucky to get time with just my friends every couple of months. Between my brother coming with me or my parents saying no if I didn't want to take him or my friends didn't want him to come, it always kind of felt like we were treated as the same person instead of two different ones. NTA, your time, space, and energy are yours. You are not obligated to babysit for them 24/7. I'm sorry that was your experience. Sorry to say your parents are TA. Hopefully your brother can come to understand once you're ready to hang out again, when you both want to, and do something together and repair or rebuild a sibling relationship that's comfort for both of you, not your parents. My stepdad came into my life when I was 8 years old. I had lost my dad almost a year before. My mom and stepdad married within 7 months of me meeting him. A few days before the wedding day, they sat me down and told me that they would like it if I called him Dad instead of stepdad or his name, and that they would like me to call his parents my grandparents, grandpa, grandma. At the time, I wasn't really fond of any of them, definitely didn't love them, and wasn't even sure I liked him, and his parents were almost strangers to me. There was a lot of weirdness around what I called his parents most of all. I would refer to them as my step-grandparents, but that offended pretty much all four of them, so I decided it was simpler to refer to them in conversations with others as my stepdad's parents. They didn't like it, but they also didn't like that I called them by their first names, but were more offended by me using Mr., Mrs., last name, and the only nicknames they would suggest were Grandma, Granny, Grandpa, Gramps. My stepdad and I today aren't a whole lot closer than we were before. I feel like he's threatened by the fact that I never dropped a step from his title, and I never call him dad in conversation, yet still talk about my dad to friends, other family members, etc. He's extremely bothered by the fact that I have a daddy's girl photo frame in my room with a photo of me and my dad. He often tried to get me to replace the photo with one of us and outright bought me a new frame with the same words and a photo of us. On to the issue at hand here. Sorry for going off track a bit. My school has this little pamphlet every year for the graduating class where beside each student the people who attend for that student are mentioned. My stepdad is down as stepdad, and his parents are down by their first names. Where my grandparents are given their grandparent names, Grandma and Grandpa, for my mom's parents, and Nanny and Granddad for my dad's parents. They saw the pamphlet and it broke into a fight, with my stepdad and mom saying I had publicly denied my dad and grandparents. I said I had not, that I would never deny my dad, but that stepdad is my stepdad. He told me they might as well not be there if they're not worthy of the titles they want. I told them I was okay with them not being there if they were so angry over it. When I said that, things escalated to the point of them describing me as a disrespectful brat who needed to learn to put others' feelings before my own. My mom told me that I should want them, stepdad and his parents, there, and that I should be so ashamed that I would rather keep distancing title for them than have them present at this monumental moment of my life. AITA? NTA, they don't get to force you to replace your dead father, and if they had never pushed the issue, I bet you would have been more amenable to it. They shot themselves in the foot here. Do what feels right for you.